Today we're going to be installing a two-stage water filtration system and a water softener. First thing you're going to want to do is get your support on there nice and level for your two-stage water filtration system, whole home. Next you're going to want to put your 1" by 3/4 brass bushings right into the inlet and outlet there. Go ahead and get some popped up on them threads of that dielectric union. Get it nice and snug, just like that. Alright, then we're just going to put our plastic bypass on the softener here. Alright, so what that is a rubber gasket. If there's a rubber gasket in there, you don't need no pipe dope or no tape. I want to see nothing on them threads. Get it nice and snug, just like that. Not too tight. Them are plastic threads now. You'll strip them. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get that screwed in there. Take a look. Nice and level, just how it should be. I don't want nothing less. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get this softener over here. I know what you're going to say. Why are you using them flex lines? Well, I'll tell you why. Because I want to. Alright, going to go ahead and get our hole drilled here for our return pipe. Alright, make sure it's nice and level. Nice and plumb there. Get that screwed in. Be using 3/4 inch copper C-clamps. Alright, just like that. Next, we're going to want to put the rest of our dielectric union together there. I'm going to come up with a 3/4 T for the bypass. Put a little flux on that copper. Alright. Get that T on there. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and loosen up these C-clamps so I can slide my pipe over. Get that cleaned up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put it all together first, and I'm going to just sweat it all last. I usually don't do it that way, but this is kind of a rare occasion here where the studs are set up like that. So I don't know why one's sticking out farther than the other ones, but it kind of worked out to my advantage, so I ain't going to say no more. Alright, going to go ahead and get our other ball valve on there. Come up with my other T for the bypass there. Put a little flux on that copper, if you know what I'm saying. Alright. Get my measurement for the inlet pipe. Alright, slide it in there just like that. Get your measurement. Looking about 9.5. 9.5 there. Alright, got that in there. I'm going to come up with my risers for my bypass. Now, I'm always make sure they're the same length now, or it's going to be looking crooked. Nobody likes it looking crooked now. Alright, I'll measure about to the center there. It ain't got to be dead on because, you know, well, okay, it does have to be dead on, but I'm just saying. Sometimes it ain't. Alright, what I like to use is a little clampy clamp here. Go ahead and get it on there. It'll hold your pipe in place while you're sweating. Alright. Go ahead and get some solder on that copper. Just like that. Now, you never want to put too much flux on that copper, and if you do, you're just going to want to make sure that you burn it off, because what will happen is that flux will run down that pipe, and then your pipe be looking like a candlestick. So by any means, just try to avoid that. You know, I always kind of say if it's new copper, a little less flux is a lot better than too much. But either way, you know, as long as it don't leak, that's what's important. So we're going to leave the artistic side out of it for a second. Alright, I'm going to get to sweating up this bypass ball valve here. It's as center as I think it could be. And always take your time. If you feel rushed, just relax. Heat up that pipe just to the right temp. Now, you'll be able to see it's right before it starts to turn green there. And a lot of people, I feel like, will put too much solder on there. You know, you don't need much, and that's expensive too, so you break the bank there putting too much solder on that pipe. You don't want to do that. It's a waste. Your boss see you doing it, he'll probably can you. I've seen it happen. Alright, we're going to go ahead and sweat up this bypass here. Oh yeah. And see, when it's done right, that's how it's supposed to look right there. See how you just barely have to touch it with that solder. It just take all the way around, just like that. Don't get any better than that now. Alright, now that we're almost done here sweating up this copper, I'm going to go ahead and wipe it off with my sleeve because I'm too lazy to go get my rag. Alright, now it's time to tie it into the main, which is 1/2 inch. I don't know why. But before I do that, I almost forgot that I got to cut my water softener here into my return line. I'm going to cut it in half. You don't have to cut it twice now. I see a lot of people make that mistake. You only got to cut it once. You just go ahead and slide that pipe over. Get them 90s on there. Get them stubbed down with your 3/4 inch male adapters there. Now what I like to do is screw the male adapters into them flex lines first, and then you'll be able to get that exact measurement there. That way it'll look nice. I'll go ahead and say it 1,000 times. Ain't nobody like it looking crooked now. You want them to be straight. Just like that. Alright, we're going to go ahead and tighten them up with the channel locks there. Looking good. Alright. Nice and plumb now. If you're a professional, everything you do be plumb, alright? Okay, we're going to go ahead and get our holes drilled through this joist. Now this is a weird angle. I really was thinking about for a while there, how should I approach this? But what I always say is, you could do anything with 290s now. You could get any angle you need with them 290s. That's all you need. I don't like using 45s. It throws everything out of whack. Alright. Now that I got them stubbed in there, we're going to go ahead and tie it into the main. I'm going to put a little flux on that copper, get my pipe in there, get my 90s on. Alright, this is going to be my inlet pipe that I'm working on first here. Now there was a shark bite on this main. I don't like seeing no shark bite on my main, so I went ahead and made sure that where I cut is going to eliminate that shark bite. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and get my return pipe cleaned up. Put a little flux on that copper. Alright, coupling, 3/4. Get your measurement here. Alright. Get that pipe in there. Next, I'm going to be putting on this 3/4 copper 90 there. Pre-cleaned and fluxed up. Alright. Now what this is, I know it's kind of weird, but I found them at Home Depot. They had these 3/4 by 1/2 inch 90s. I said that'll work perfect, you know. So I went ahead and got 2 of them, threw them in the cart. And now it's time to put them to work. Just like that. So, as a professional, you just want to run the correct pipe size, you know, from the smallest. It doesn't really matter, you know. There's no point to go up to 1 if the main's 1/2. It just doesn't make sense to me. If anybody can explain it better, feel free, because I just don't get it. Alright, gonna go ahead and get this inlet pipe cleaned up. A little 1/2 inch by 3/4 90. Put a little more flux on that copper, you know what I mean? Alright. Now this is the hardest sweat of the whole job here. This is where, you know, you got to get that water out of there. And sometimes you can't. And then that don't mess up the whole job. Have you there for 2 more hours. But thankfully this time I didn't have much trouble. It went ahead and took right away. But I can't express hard enough again. Always clean up that copper. You don't want to be trying to sweat on some dirty copper. It just don't work now. And just like that. From way up here, you have the water filtration system and water softener.